Muy bien. Da igual. De cualquier manera, mejor no. In every single Spanish lesson on this channel, we talk about chunks. Chunk alerts, chunks. But do you really know what chunks are and why they're so effective at making you speak fluent Spanish? Yo soy Maura de Spring Spanish, and in this video we'll dive deep into the world of chunks so you can start memorizing them and learning them yourself. Número 1. Why chunks?
Hola, por favor, un taco. Querer, un taco.
The idea behind chunking is that most people start from the wrong place when they want to learn Spanish or other languages. They'll usually learn lists and grammar, and when they need to speak Spanish in a real-life situation like ordering tacos, they'll ask themselves, with all the words and grammar I've learned so far, how can I piece together a sentence to order that taco? In other words, they try to invent Spanish sentences from scratch, and that's really hard to do. It makes you stumble, translate in your head, and you'll be constantly wondering if what you say even sounds remotely natural in Spanish.
Entonces, ¿qué hago?
Well, learning Spanish becomes infinitely easier when you start asking a different question. ¿Cómo lo dirían los nativos? Apply to the situation before. ¿Cómo pediría tacos un nativo? Which words and especially which word combinations would they use? Now that's the kind of question that helps you achieve conversational skills in Spanish. Because despite what you might subconsciously feel, you don't have to piece together any Spanish phrase or sentence from scratch yourself. En su lugar, puedes escuchar, observar y absorber oraciones gramaticalmente correctas directamente de la fuente. Native speakers speaking their own language in conversations, like Spring Spanish teacher Paulísima ordering tacos. Número 2. ¿Qué son exactamente los chunks? So when you listen to Paulísima or any other native speaker, you'll hear the exact word combinations they use. Me da uno de. We call these word combinations chunks. Without realizing, you probably already know some of the most common ones, like ¿Cómo estás?, Buenos días, mucho gusto. Of course, there are many more, but before we jump into the dialogue for more examples, just know that at the end of this video, I'll be covering the 4 steps that compose our chunking method per se.
Alex, ¿cuál es tu película favorita? ¿Qué pregunta tan difícil?
Yo creo que mi película favorita es The Never Ending Story.
¿Cuál es tu película favorita?
Yo no tengo película favorita. From this dialogue, you can already find a few chunk expressions that will always stay the same. Let's review them together. ¿Cuál es? This can always work as a question. You can use it to ask which of many is something specific. For example, ¿cuál es la canción que más escuchas? ¿Cuál es el edificio en el que vives? ¿Cuál es tu mejor recuerdo? ¿Qué pregunta tan difícil? This is one of those that stand on its own. You can use it to save time to think about an answer, in every context and with every person. Yo creo que. This is one of those you cannot live without. Every time you're going to express your personal opinion, you can start the sentence like this. For instance, yo creo que el clima está mejorando. Yo creo que mañana tendré tiempo de llamarte. Yo creo que hay alienígenas que saben que existimos. Yo no tengo. Without you needing to memorize any conjugation tables, just remember to use yo no tengo or simply no tengo to say what it is that you don't have. They're usually in combined chunks like no tengo película favorita. Ojo, in English we say I don't have a favorite movie. In Spanish, there's no article. Yo no tengo película favorita. Why? It doesn't matter. But since you've now heard me say it like that in a chunk, you can just learn that chunk by heart and use it yourself correctly. No tengo ganas de salir. No tengo tiempo para eso. No tengo zapatos para correr. Chunk alert. Yo no tengo ganas de is the type of chunk that transcends the literal translation. I mean, this would be better translated to English by saying, I don't feel like. So, use it just like in English, to say what you'd rather not do. For example, yo no tengo ganas de hacer ejercicio hoy. Let me know in the comments what you don't feel like doing today. Also in the comments is the link to our free Essential Spanish Chunking Kit, in case you haven't checked it out just yet. Está ahí para ti. Of course, it'll be useful to know some grammar, but having fluent Spanish sentences roll off the tongue is only possible by bypassing grammar and having chunks in your brain instead. The chunks do the heavy lifting for you. El chunking es un concepto ampliamente investigado tanto en el aprendizaje de idiomas como en la neurología, psicología en general. Agrupar información para que sea más fácil de recordar y utilizar parece ser algo que el cerebro hace de forma natural. Para los verdaderos amantes del lenguaje, hay un libro del lingüista Michael Lewis llamado Introducing the Lexical Approach. También el cofundador de Spring Spanish, Lucas, escribió un libro sobre el chunking llamado Effortless Conversations. Maura les dejará los enlaces para ambos libros en la descripción. Número 3. The 4 steps of the chunking method. Gracias, Ale. In our YouTube videos, we highlight many chunks for you, but in our courses, we go a step further and we fully apply the method of conversation-based chunking, which consists of 4 steps. Step 1. Get a lot of input because that's where you're going to hear which chunks native speakers use. Chunks you can trust are correct. Buenas noticias. You are already getting quite some input from our videos. Por ejemplo,
es indispensable que viajemos con un diccionario de frases útiles.
¿Ves? Por eso es que yo solo hago estos planes contigo. Step 2. Identify chunks in everything you hear. Everything you want to be able to say yourself as well in conversations. Step 3. Make an active effort to imprint these chunks on your brain. No solo escuches, memorize them so they're readily available when you need them in conversations. In the Spring Spanish Inner Circle, we do this through flashcards. For each lesson, we have flashcards available that look like this, y puedes usarlas para practicar todos los días. Also, in our Structured Spanish courses, we have flashcards for all the chunks in the lessons. Para más información sobre nuestros cursos, revisa los enlaces en la descripción. Step 4. Implement. Use everything you learned in conversations. Step 5. Optional. Impress native speakers. This one's optional but fun. For example, you could go out and use the chunks you learned from the dialogue in real-life conversations. Por favor, me da 2 de pollo. Gracias. Now that's how chunking works. If you want to learn more, make sure to download our Spanish Chunking Kit. It comes with many more examples of chunks and also a full tutorial and a sample lesson of our Structured Spanish course, Los Cazadores de Tormentas. The link is in the description.